If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. This is an important video. I want to show you the Hegelian dialect being used in such a way that most people haven't even discussed it. I've been covering this since I started my channel. I've been covering it since the outbreak began, that this was going to be one of the agendas pushed. And now, as we're seeing, a little bit of an ease back, you're seeing this becoming one of the main topics being discussed with the outbreak, and that is the removal of meat. More and more meat plants getting shut down, meats not being found in grocery stores. And look, we know what this is all about. We know what they want to put in our body. For people out there who go, hey, I don't like meat and I'm a vegan, that's fine. You don't have to like meat. But understand this, the plant-based burger, the plant-based meat is manufactured in a laboratory. It might as well be fish bait. You couldn't pay me to put this stuff in my mouth. You couldn't even pay me to sniff it. It's probably safer to eat your own dung. And that's not even a joke. This is manufactured in a corporation. So what they've done, and watch, I'm going to show you, is they've created a problem, which is the meat shortage. And by doing so, what they've also done is they've spiked the prices of all the meats. So meat is almost double in price. So some people are eased out of the market from being able to afford it. And then what happens? The plant-based meat begins to get stocked up in more grocery stores. And what a coincidence that the price of all the plant-based meats plummets. As the stock goes through the roof, they decrease the prices so more consumers buy it. That's how it works.
Official start of summer and a time when people usually pull out their grills, but getting a good burger this weekend might be tougher than you think.
KPLC's Rania Kaur reports on the national meat shortage that's impacting us locally.
The closing of several large processing plants like Tyson's and J.B. Swift has launched the nation into a meat shortage, which Louisiana Commissioner of Agriculture Mike Strain says has impacted us statewide.
Whenever you have a supply chain disruption, think about the links of a chain, right? If the one link breaks, then the whole chain becomes dysfunctional. And so that's what's happening.
And even though some plants are reopening, the effects of their closure can be seen here in southwest Louisiana, with the recent closing of Hackett's and restaurants like Paul's Rib Shack facing difficulties getting supplies.
I just cannot get brisket, I can't get ribs, I can't get pork shoulders. So it's been just a giant. I could get poultry some weeks.
In the case of Freshco Food Corporation, owner Jimbo Gilbo says even if they get meat to sell, restaurants and buyers have to pay a premium.
3 weeks ago, I can tell you my ground meat has basically almost doubled in price. I do a lot of Hispanic restaurants, and they use a certain type of meat, and that's jumped up from probably like $4 a pound to $8 a pound.
And Commissioner Strain says those increased prices may last a while.
Remember, there's a glitch in eating protein, and the glitch is that it goes through an industrial cow. I don't want anything going through that beast in my plate. I'm getting fed up myself. I might go vegan. Problem with the food chain, it's all going Beyond Meat's way. And what is Beyond Meat doing? They're cutting prices.
So after doing that, after saying, all right, well, there's a meat shortage, and any stores that have meat, you're going to pay an arm and a leg for it. So why not try the Soylent stuff, the Soylent Green burger? I mean, the plant-based meat burger. Oops. And then what do? They roll out their celebrities to tell you why it's so important to switch over for your health and just in general. This video recently posted by Beyond Meat this week as they continue to manufacture human beings through celebrity influencers.
How can I make an impact?
On the world
and the people I care about.
Making an impact to me is seeing the future and wanting to make a difference.
There's a responsibility for me to try and teach and show other people what I've learned.
From witnessing multiple strokes, heart attacks, family members with diabetes, you got to see the common thread. It was honestly what they were putting inside their bodies.
You can change your diet, you can change your lifestyle, and you can become healthy.
There's an option. There's a door number 2 that you can go to.
With my kids, they still eat meat, but I sneak in more plant-based foods because it's actually better for them.
It's really cool that I get a chance to show my kids and teach them, but also not force them to do anything.
These little choices that you make every day, whether you go plant-based for breakfast or plant-based snack or plant-based for a day, it makes a huge difference.
Now we're so blessed because convenience can be healthy now, and it can be plant-based.
I'm more active, I'm not as sluggish. I definitely just saw a change that was better for me.
My mom always taught me the rule to leave it better than you found it. It takes less water, less energy, less greenhouse gases to have a plant-based meal.
We all have to do what we can. And if you could start with what you eat, game over. That's the real win.
That's how you make an impact.
And then on top of all that, which I've covered a million times, the people who are invested in the plant-based meat, from Jay-Z to Katy Perry to the front man of it all. What a shock, Bill Gates. And no, this isn't just about, I'm sick of hearing people talk about, with the vax, all these people are going to prosper and make all this money. It's not about that. It's about depopulation. It's about the mark of the beast. It's about turning humans into them for the most part by forcing humans without even realizing it to eat these Soylent burgers. As Bill Gates says, you could be a good citizen and prevent climate change by stop eating meat if we shut down these meat factories. Boy, isn't that a coincidence that the face of this entire outbreak, the man who's going to save the world, also is going to stop climate change by shutting down meat factories, which coincidentally are being shut down now because of the outbreak.
That category is a variety of things. When you clear land, you're taking in the carbon that's stored, say, in the trees or plants there, and you're releasing all of that, like burning the land, say, in Indonesia for palm oil plantations. Another thing is that cows and other grass-eating species have a digestion system that emits methane. And methane is a very powerful greenhouse gas. And so cows alone account for about 6% of global emissions. And so we need to change cows, just cows alone.
How are we going to do that?
Well, actually, of all the categories, the one that has gone better than I would have expected 5 years ago is this work to make what's called artificial meat. And so you have people like Impossible or Beyond Meat, both of which I invested in.
You eat it as well, or do you like it?
Absolutely.
You do. Okay.
You can go to Burger King and buy the Impossible Burger.
All right. Is it healthier for you or just healthier for the atmosphere?
It's slightly healthier for you in terms of less cholesterol. It's, of course, dramatic reduction in methane emissions, animal cruelty, manure management, and the pressure that meat consumption puts on land use.
And then on top of it all, which if you followed my channel, you know I've talked about it so many times, Soylent Green. Tell me if this trailer looks familiar at all.
New York City, 50 years from today. Nothing runs, nothing works.
They gave me a quarter of a kilo.
But people are the same. And people will do anything to get what they need. What they need most is Soylent Green. Simonson, board of directors of the Soylent Corporation, murdered because he discovered the secret of Soylent Green. Detective Thorne, he's got to find out what Simonson knew. Saul Roth, Thorne's researcher.
Courtesy of your next assignment, William R. Simonson, Chelsea Towers West. When how'd you get all these?
Cheryl, the furniture.
Is that Simonson? Is that a yes nod or a no nod?
Yes.
Hatcher, police captain.
Simonson. Supposed to look like he was killed when he caught some punk burglarizing his apartment. Well, what do you say? It was an assassination.
Tab Fielding, bodyguard.
Why would you leave that door open?
Why did you set up Simonson? Charlton Heston, Edward G. Robinson, Lee Taylor Young, Chuck Connors. Fight for survival and solve the most bizarre riddle ever to face mankind.
This is the police. I'm asking you to disperse. The supply of Soylent Green has been exhausted.
Why does Soylent Green mean life?
You must disperse. The troops are on their way.
Why does Soylent Green mean death?
So, Brad, what is for dinner? How about a substance that replaces food, giving you all the calories and nutrients you need? What in the world is this all about? Jonathan Series live in Atlanta. Jonathan, what is it about? Good morning.
Hi, Bill. It's called Soylent, and it was created by Rob Reinhardt, a Georgia Tech graduate who ultimately sees his product as a solution for world hunger. Because his product ships as a powder, it's easy to transport and can go for a long time before it starts spoiling. Reinhardt says because half of the world's food ends up going to waste, hunger on a global level is not really about lack of resources. Listen.
Once we really turn this into an engineering and logistics problem, we can solve those. And we can, I really think that we can get the costs lower and lower and to the point where no one would really have to worry about their supply for food, which would be a massive benefit to humanity.
Now, to develop his product, Reinhardt went to an online crowdfunding site. His goal was to raise $100,000. Instead, within a month, he raised $800,000. So, Bill, obviously a lot of people out there share his dream.
Is there a market for this in the U.S.? I mean, what have you found out?
Yeah, Rob Reinhardt certainly thinks so. In fact, while we were producing this story, the Fox News team here in Atlanta actually tried Soylent. It tastes like a mildly sweet soy milk. Reinhardt likes to add vanilla to give it extra flavor, but foodies out there will point out it's no replacement for the enjoyment of a gourmet meal.
Food is designed to feed the body, yes, but we have a tongue that has taste buds on it. So that means they're there for a reason.
We should definitely enjoy all of the social and cultural aspects for food because it can be really fun, but most of the time it's really not that memorable. And, you know, most of the time I can't really be bothered, and I'd just rather be doing something else.
Reinhardt sees Soylent as a nutritious alternative to getting lunch from a drive-thru on a busy day, which many of us are guilty of, and an ideal product for single folks who don't have anyone to impress by spending hours in the kitchen. And Bill, looking back on my bachelor days back in the 90s, I lived on a lot of canned tuna and spaghetti.
Yep.
Bill?
Salisbury steaks, found it right there in the oven. Cost, how much is this?
Yeah, right now the cost is about $2 per serving, and while that sounds very inexpensive to the average American, it's more than a lot of people in developing countries can afford, especially some poor countries where people are making an average of $30 a month. But Reinhardt believes that as he mass produces his product, he can get the price down, way down, to the point that it will be viable for shipment to all parts of the world. Bill?
Hope it tastes good.
Those old trailers are pretty funny. Way better than the ones now. But what is in the Soylent Green, you ask? As they tell us, well, just listen to the words out of Charlton Heston's mouth as they tell us the environment is suffering, that the oceans are dangerous. Huh, take a listen.
They've got to tell people.
Tell them what?
The ocean's dying. The plankton's dying. It's people. Soylent Green is made out of people.
They're making our food out of people. Next thing, they'll be breeding us like cattle for food. You gotta tell them. You gotta tell them. Listen to me, Hatcher. You gotta tell them. Soylent Green is people!
Sounds a lot like the narrative we hear in today's world about global warming and climate change and how we're running out of food. Boy, oh boy. This is how it works, folks. They show you it all in advance, and I don't really care about the people who think, everybody thinks that they're going to put human meat in the burgers and fetal cells. Oh my God. These are people who are sitting on YouTube playing video games talking about this stuff. The dumbest people alive. The younger generations have pretty much, you know how God talks about the gate being narrow? Well, that's really because the generations below us are so dumb and think everything's a big joke, including the Bible, including everything that we talk about. They just laugh at it because they trust in Big Brother. As long as they can play their video games, be on their phones, and shove their thumbs up their ass, excuse my French, but I'm a little pissed off. These people don't care about hell and being in hell for eternity. They think that's a joke. They don't care about their bodies being poisoned by the government until suddenly they get Alzheimer's. They don't even realize why they got it. Well, they won't realize it anyway, but they get cancer, they get something else. But it's not instant. It's not an instant impact. These people are willingly going to take the mark. And remember, they want to create a society that lives like they do. They're trying with their easing, the age restrictions and showing all these kids on TV, sexualizing them, Desmond the Amazing, all that stuff. What do you think that is? They want to normalize that. You don't think they want to normalize cannibalism? How many stories have come out about, oh boy, these kids have come forward and said that, they're taken into these satanic undergrounds and forced to drink blood and all this stuff. Yeah, they all just have this crazy imagination from the 70s, 80s, 90s, all the way back to as long as it was being reported, to just making stories like that up. I don't think so. Right? We see what happens with Planned Parenthood, where these fetuses disappear. And it's just disturbing and disgusting, but people can't wrap their minds around it because they don't think that a satanic cabal exists. They don't think that these people, they're like, oh, a cannibal, like Hannibal Lecter? What are they, like vampires, like Dracula? Oh, yeah, they are. And they're going to try to turn everyone into it however they can, and that's what you're seeing going on here. Problem, reaction, solution. Take the meat, shut the plants down when there's not even an outbreak. Not just costing people jobs, okay? They're slaughtering animals because they think that half these animals have the virus in them. They're spiking the price of anything remaining so that most people who would buy it can't afford it, forcing them to buy, look what's freshly stocked throughout the store, plant-based meats at a very discounted price. The stocks of these plant-based meats going through the roof. Celebrities left and right, even though they're supposed to be quarantined, I'm sure they filmed this 6 months ago, are coming out talking about how everybody needs to switch over for their health and their heart. And I have family members that died because they ate meat. Huh? To Gates' involvement, which is I've covered 1 million times. And then you get your Soylent Green. You tell me. Coincidence? I think not. All right, everyone, please check out my website at callforanuprising.com. $2.99 a month. It's worth it. Try it out. If you don't like it, you can always unsubscribe. But you can share your information, your videos, anything that you see going on in your town, pictures and all sorts of things over there to interact and help spread the awareness of what's going on in the world. I want to thank everyone out there who is a member. I want to thank all you guys who are patrons and supporters of the channel. This world's just agenda by agenda, day by day. You're seeing it happen. But hey, we're the crazy people, right? Whew. Just glad I'm not one of the dumb people. Rather be crazy than dumb. Thank you again for listening to today's show. God bless all of you and your families.